we feeling is the most important question. We are now on day 3. We've had 2 really, really powerful sessions. And Claire and I were talking about this today. There is so much stuff I want to share with you. And I did say this on Monday. I've really had to hold myself back. And I am definitely a teacher by heart. I could teach you for days and days and days and hours and hours and hours and weeks and weeks and weeks on end and still not be able to share everything with you. But it's been really awesome to see so many of you who are completely new to EAM. I know lots of you are long-time lovers, as we were sharing on Monday, but there's also so many. I think there's like over 14, there are 1,400 of you registered, and like 1,300 of you are completely new to EAM. And it's a lot to take on board. The theories, the concepts, the journey of the energy evolution, the 5 steps of EAM themselves. And we've only done 2 sessions. I've introduced you to like not even 0.5% of what's possible with using EAM, but seeing your messages in Facebook group, seeing your messages in the chat at the end of these calls and these conversations, I just want to say thank you to you guys for showing up, because it's so easy to forget every single day when we're not doing live training classes or not working with people one-to-one. It's so easy to forget why we do what we do and what seems obvious and normal for us, because we've been using EAM for so long, we've been putting it into practice every day. You know, we can just get rid of something that's bugging you or pissing you off. Quite sorry, I did apologise the other night for swears. I do apologise up front. If you haven't heard my apology up front, sorry. It becomes so normal that you forget what life is like without it. And so for all of the people who are new, who are like, oh my God, this is like blowing my mind, or I've let go of this thing that I've been holding on to for the last 10, 15 years, or that feeling that I've had that I've not been able to shift for the last few months is gone, or I just feel lighter, or I've actually been able to sleep for the first time in 6 years from literally 2 tiny little sessions, tiny exercises of using this and putting this into practice. So I honestly want to just thank you for showing up. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking part. Thanks for rocking up on the calls. I know 6 calls is a big commitment, but it kind of isn't when you actually think about the amount of time and energy it is going to save you in your life when you start putting these things into practice and you actually see the transformations taking place. And you're not spending all your time dealing with the chaos and drama and all the crap that kind of tends to go with it. So it's day 3. We're officially halfway, or we will be at the end of the call of this week's journey. And tonight is all about relationships, which all of these subjects deserve like a whole month of us just talking about them and putting them into practice. But relationships is one of the big ones, because I don't know about you, but relationships are always the thing that screw me up the most personally, that will derail my energy almost without me being able to see or notice. And I know this stuff, and I'm sure many of you do too. Even when you're conscious to this, even when you know how to put this into practice, relationships is always the thing that sneaks up on me the most, because they're so complex. Relationships with other people are so complicated. And I don't mean that relationships are complicated, but there are so many different nuances to all of it, and how I'm thinking and how I'm feeling and my beliefs and my journey and my perspective, and they've got their stuff too. So relationships can be one of the biggest things that derail us massively from our own life journey, from living life purpose, from having the time and energy to focus on what we need to do. We can spend years and years stuck in drama in relationships. And we'll talk about all of this tonight, but I honestly think if we could literally just solve relationship problems, the world would be an incredible place, an incredible place. Because we first know how to love ourselves, which is number one in any relationship or interaction or connection. And two, stop placing blame and responsibility on other people to change who they are and how they show up in order for us to be happy. And if everybody just lived by those two things, if we were taught that when we are taught that in school, oh my God, the world will be such a different place, full of empowered people who are just getting on with living their own life. And that is what I want for you. That's my wish and intention for you. So let's have some fun with this conversation tonight, because I know it's, what a beautiful place to live, says Natalie. And yes, in school, EAM in school. I'll probably share with you on Friday a little more of our big vision with EAM, but it's always been the intention that this is going to be taught in school. This is going to be taught within the NHS. This is going to be as normal as brushing your teeth. And that is my life mission. That is our purpose. That's what we're here for. It's already happening. And we need more people like you guys. We need more people like you, the change makers of the world, to be out there sharing EAM. I've had some of you messaging already, like, how do I learn to use EAM? How do I put this into practice in my work and what I'm doing in my life? How do I start putting this into practice with my clients as well? So I definitely will be talking about that. And please remind me before the end of the call to talk to you a little bit about that tonight as well. But who start with homeschool? That's a really good idea, actually, Claire Louise. Thank you. I'll leave that to you. You've brought that up, so that's your job. That's your mission. I can't speak to every community. Well delegated. Thanks, Claire Louise. You can take that community. So let's get started with this evening and talking about the relationship stuff that comes up. With everything particularly that's been going on in the world, let's call it, I never like to give energy to the name of it, so I always call it the what's it. But this story that the world has been playing out for the last 18 months has created so much separation, unbelievable amounts of separation in relationships, within families, within communities, within work colleagues. Even if take away the political or energetic disagreements that are taking place around this subject, even the very beginning of this, when the whole world went into lockdown and we haven't been able to see people, we haven't been able to travel, we were literally forced to separate ourselves from others. It left so many people feeling isolated, lost, and alone. Let alone now the choice that many people have made because of these differences that are going on, because you might have your own perspectives and beliefs on something, and other people in your family see things in a completely different way. It's definitely happened for me, even within my own family. My sister and I, she's an intensive care nurse. She's a band 7 intensive care nurse. She runs one of the ITU wards in one of the biggest hospitals in the UK. So she's literally been on the front line of dealing with all of this. And I completely understand her perspective. I completely understand her journey. But my world has been the complete opposite for the last 20 years. I've been holistic healthcare. There's always been this kind of mutual respect for the schools that we live within. But particularly with this, it's been really controversial within our family, because I believe in the power of being able to heal yourself, and that when our body is in health and in wellness and in flow, nothing, not even just this thing that's going on right now, like nothing can make you sick when you are in flow. And everyone in my family just thinks that I'm a witch or some kind of woo-woo out there, whatever. I'm not. But I it's my life. It's literally been my life for 20 years. And this situation and any other situation is never going to sway me from that. Don't get me wrong. Western medicine is amazing. If I break my leg, which I'm not planning on doing anytime soon, if there's some immediate critical trauma, incredible. But I would rather see a world full of healthy, empowered, happy people who are able to take care of their own mental, emotional, and physical well-being and not need to get to the point of needing Western medical health. That's not to say that it's not important, and I completely get where it all comes from. And like I said yesterday, the physical health stuff, I love explaining and talking about the mind-body connection. But this separation that has been created, some of us have done it because it's a safety strategy. It helps us to just keep our sanity by cutting off people who think or feel differently to us. Some people might have been separated from, perhaps other people in your life have walked away because they can't deal with the way you think and feel and the way you talk and the things that you've got going on. So, and this has been massive because human beings are community and connection based. From birth, we are born to live in tribes. We are born to live in community. We need people around, and we need people around us who are of a like mind and a like vibration. I don't know about you, but I've found as I've gone further along my energy journey, I find it really hard to be around people who don't get it. Does that make sense? Like people who just think that this stuff is weird and this stuff's way out there. And it's like, it's not that I don't want to be around people. I feel like I've got nothing to say. I can't have mundane, boring conversations about, oh, what's been happening with blah, blah, or what's happened with this celebrity on I'm a whatever and want to get out of here, or, fake marry, love avoid, or whatever the program is that's on at the minute. I just can't do it. I literally just can't do it. There's no judgment. I just feel like I've got nothing to talk about because that stuff just doesn't interest me. Let's have a conversation about changing your life. Let's have a conversation about transforming the possibilities. Let's have a conversation about changing the world and creating an entirely new planet and birthing the new earth and shifting systems and changing politics and healthcare systems. I can talk all day long about those things, but I can't be talking about like what pair of knickers a celebrity is wearing. Just can't do it. So as I've gone on my journey, I'm sure people don't talk about what knickers a celebrity's wearing, but you get my point. As I've gone on my journey, I know that I have chosen more carefully the people that I spend my time with, because I want my energy to be in a great space and I want to be around other people who want their energy to be in a great space. I don't want to have to make myself small. I don't want to have to dumb myself down or keep myself quiet to make other people feel happy, because that's the complete opposite of everything that being in flow and being in alignment is all about. So this whole thing has created a massive shift in mass consciousness. And that is really, when we step out of the drama of it, I do believe that is what's going on a scale that we have never seen before. And I think for a lot of people who are struggling their way through this, they don't know what we know. And, obviously, I don't know where you're all at in your personal journey, but they don't know what we know. And I think waking up to a lot of the things that are going on is quite scary for a lot of people, because they've never known anything different. They've never stepped outside the norm of life and, getting up and going to work and listening to the news and getting a job and earning loads of money and then retiring at whatever age and then living on your pension. Like, they've never stretched their imagination beyond that, because that's what everybody else has been doing. So this shift in mass consciousness that's happening right now, it's birthing the new earth, and it's scary as hell for some people. And it's really exciting for some of us too. But even when you know what you know, and even when you've got something like EAM to get you through it, these last 18 months have been one hell of a roller coaster. one hell of an emotional, energetic roller coaster for so many of us. So let me see if I can get my slides up. Big time, says Carolyn. Yes, big time. It's been huge. It's been huge. So what we're talking about tonight, like the impact of relationships, even before this last 18 months, has been huge, has been massive. But particularly with everything that's going on right now, if we don't learn to shift this discord, this disconnection from others, whether it's us or them, whether it's us changing our perspective about what we think and feel about other people, what's going to end up happening is that we end up hiding away from the world. And so many of you shared this on Monday and in the Facebook group, like, you know, that you are hiding your light. You are keeping yourself small and not sharing your truth because you're scared to show up. You're scared to show up, and I understand why, because you're worried people are going to judge you. You don't want to upset people. You know, none of us want to upset anybody. But what that ends up doing is silencing you and silencing your heart when you know, when you know there is an alternative, and you know that there is something different. So we end up feeling isolated because we're often surrounded by a whole bunch of people who you can't necessarily have these conversations with without it stepping into some drama. We end up giving our power away to other people by staying silent. I truly believe, and I know this might sound like a controversial thing to say, but I'm just sharing my perspective. I truly believe that when you know there is an alternative, when you know that you can still choose truth and love and happiness and compassion, and we stay silent to what's going on, I do believe that being silent is complicit, because you know something different. And the fear that is stopping you from speaking your truth from a place of love, and that's really important. Just speaking your truth and unleashing your anger on the world isn't the answer. But not sharing your truth from a place of love for the good of all is almost complicit in the whole situation, because somebody needs to hear that. Whether you're sharing it on social media, whether you're talking to a family member, when we shy away and don't communicate from a place of love, we're actually allowing that situation to continue. And we are here as light walkers. Like, wherever you are, you're called to this right now because you've chosen to be on the planet at this time. Every single person here has. So when we stay silent, we actually give our power away, because we are choosing to allow that person, that thing, or that situation to be more important than us speaking our truth. Very often, we end up then getting pressured into situations from others. And this isn't just about what's going on right now, but definitely been amplified by it. We end up people pleasing. We end up putting other people's needs first, feeling unheard, and not following our truth. I'm not sure if that resonates for anyone. Anyone got any of that stuff going on at the minute? Viola said, I released, I don't even know what number that is, patterns of feeling not good enough. Is this just generational? I'm hopeful showing up will be more of them. Kat says, yep, all of them. I've been giving my power away for so long. That's exactly how I feel, says Kelly. I can't talk to my mum about EAM anymore. She doesn't understand it, even though she's seen the massive change in me. Totally isolated unless I'm out in nature. Totally, yeah. So I'm sharing this because I want you to know, one, you're not on your own. You're definitely not on your own. You found us now. You've got the Facebook group forever. Like, this is absolutely a safe space to be. And my invitation to you, what we're going to talk about tonight, is to learn to stand in your power, to speak your truth from a place of love, which means getting rid of your fears, your worries, your manipulation, because we still do that, your blame, your finger pointing, your shaming, because once all of those things are gone from your energy system, then when you communicate, even if people don't want to hear it, they'll hear the vibration of love and the truth that is coming from within you. And it's huge. It makes a massive, massive, massive difference. Annette said, I would love to, I think I can incorporate EAM into my coaching. Absolutely. Yes, do. I've never fitted anywhere, not my family, not my friendship groups. Yeah, and you probably won't. Most people who've been called to do this kind of work on the planet often feel like they don't fit in anywhere. I would honestly say I think I've been an outsider my entire life, which seems really sad. But actually, it's really helped because it's just allowed me to stay focused on what I'm doing and what I'm here for until I started finding a community of people that got it, that we could talk about. So I'm going to give you 5 minutes. Claire's got some more beautiful music for us this evening. In your workbook, I really want you to take a look at where these relationships, and when I'm talking about relationships, I want you to think about this in the context of the relationship with yourself first, because that is the most important one for us to resolve before we think about connecting with anybody else. There will be relationships in your life right now that have changed or transformed because of what's going on. Perhaps they're challenges that have been going on for the last 2 or 3 years. But I want you to just have a look at which relationships are currently challenging you. And we're going to do some work on this tonight. Okay, so we're going to do some work on changing the energy dynamics in the relationship. Which relationships are currently challenging you? Why are they affecting you? Where are you hiding yourself in order to fit in or people please? And again, the all important question, what is this costing you in terms of time, energy, and emotions, and money, or wherever? These relationships you can literally lose years of your life. And I don't care what monetary amount you put on that, your life is precious. Our time is precious. You do not have time to lose. And that's not coming from a place of fear, but we've been given an amazing gift of life. And we do not deserve to waste it in situations that aren't serving our highest good. So I'm going to give you 5 minutes to yourself just to really take a look at what are those relationships that I do need to address? Who are those people? And I'll talk more about the ins and outs of it in a minute, but who are those people that are affecting you or holding you back? Whether you're in relationship with them now, or perhaps they're people that you've literally cut out of your life, but even though you've cut them out of your life, you know that they're still causing problems emotionally. Maybe it's clients. Perhaps it's your ability to connect and attract clients in. We'll be talking more about that on Friday. So I'm going to give you 5 minutes just to yourself now with some beautiful background music, just to write where these relationships are showing up and how it's impacting you right now. And it doesn't have to be a relationship with a partner, it's any relationship.
Let the fire burn away your fear. The power of love is here now. The power of now is here now. The power of you, me, is here to create magic on earth. The power of love is here now. The power of now is here now. The power of you and me is here to create magic on earth. Power of love is here now. Power of now is here now. Power of you and me is here to create magic on earth. Power of love is here now. Power of now is here now. Power of you and me is here to create magic on earth. Let the water wash away your tears. Let the fire burn away your fears. Let the wind blow into your life such faith and trust. Oh, let the earth hold you, take care of you, and nurture you. Oh, the power of love is here now. The power of now is here now. The power of you, me, is here to create magic on earth. The power of love is here now. The power of now is here now. The power of you, me, is here to create magic on earth. The power of love is here now. The power of now is here now. The power of you, me, is here to create magic on earth. The power of love is here now. The power of now is here now. The power of you, me, is here to create magic on earth. Let the water wash away your tears. Let the fire burn away your fears. Let the wind blow into your life such faith and trust. Oh, let the earth hold you, take care of you, nurture you.
Those of you that have just come in, we're just on workbook page 15 and 16. We've got another couple of minutes just to ourselves, just to reflect on what's going on in relationships at the moment. So the questions are in the chat if you've not got your workbook to hand. So page 15 and 16. I always feel like I should have, well, my mic is like one of those big old fashioned mics. I feel like I should be like, da da da. I'm not going to break into song, not for tonight. So in the chat, tell me what came up. Where are we feeling stuck with our relationships? Where are we feeling like relationships are getting in our way, causing us to not move forward? A few of you have shared in the chat what's coming up, but this is, like I said at the beginning of the week, we're here as change makers. I know in your heart you're here to make a difference in the world. Maybe you already are, perhaps you're feeling called to, but the most important piece is us being in flow, is us being in alignment and doing the work on these things, because these are the things that stand in the way and hold you back from truly living your purpose. So everyone's like, what's the song? The Power of Now. I absolutely love that song. Someone shared earlier, where are we? Relationship with my parents and family are challenging me. I feel I can't show up in order to be judged as too woo-woo, that believes in holistic energy and questions regarding force stuff going on at the moment. Totally feel you, Carolina. Don't know how to pronounce that, but I really, 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 really resonate. The wonderful thing, and this is one of the reasons why the science side has been so important for me, with understanding EAM, the Heart Math Institute. I don't know if you were on the call on Monday and we talked a little bit about the science, but I spent a really, really, really long time understanding the science and peer-reviewed journals and research that has gone into understanding the flow state and energy, so that when you are talking to those people who are a little bit more factual, or let's follow the science, as is the term that everyone seems to be using at the moment, you can actually have the conversation from a scientific perspective and then bridge the gap into the world of spirituality, because sadly, so many people believe more in science than they do in the power of themselves. And sometimes we just have to find a different doorway into being able to open people's minds up to this. So particularly with EAM and our mentors in the training, like, we talk about how to start talking, having these conversations. You can have the conversation from a spiritual perspective, you can have it from a psychology perspective, you can have it from a neuroscience, quantum physics, new paradigm, what's going on in the world of electrons conversation, because you never know which doorway is going to open for someone. And once they actually open that door, and you can then start to give them the experience, and this is why we always want to give people the experience with EAM, and whatever that looks like for you, I'm just sharing this as it might be helpful. If you can give someone the experience of the transformation, it overcomes anything you try and explain. Trying to explain it to someone when they don't have that understanding or perspective or experience in their life already, it's really hard. But just getting them to just follow these steps, just do these things, and then they feel the shift and they're like, oh, that thing I had disappeared. And then you can start having the conversation from there. So sometimes it's easier to just find a way to get them to experience it. So in the chat, what have we got? I feel sad and drained whenever around anyone, because I'm trying to always hold space for others, says Laura. I know my relationship, which has just ended, I was hiding myself inside and don't think I've come back out yet. I feel like I want a lot of relationships because I feel like I've let go of a lot of relationships because I want to be the true me, but now I'm left alone. Draining energy, people wanting support rather than looking after themselves, keeping all the hurt inside and not able to move forward in my own relationships. I feel not worthy when they don't listen, feel insecure, not being attractive, relationships with family and romantic relationships with myself, situationship, I love that phrase, in a situationship that shows me things that I want, but I'm not able to have with them, and yet I still want to be with them. Oh, okay. Manifesting the new relationships. I can talk to this one until the cows come home. Relationships with partners. I this was actually one of my big manifestations. I'll probably share the story another day, but I spent a really long time with my little boy's dad. We were together nearly 12 years, but the last 4, probably, I knew in my heart that I shouldn't be there. And I kept making almost every single story, reason, excuse, situation for why I needed to stay. Like, I needed to stay because we were just having a baby, and I needed to stay because he'd lost his dad, and I needed to stay because then he got really sick and he was in hospital for ages and I couldn't leave him when he was just coming out of being in hospital. And I was so desperately unhappy. Believe you me, I EAM'd the pants off of all of it. But there comes a point when what you desire in a relationship, what you want, what you deserve, is the most important. And please write that word down and underline, underline, underline. The compromise that you make in staying in what you've got, rather than choosing to create what you deserve and desire, the sacrifice, I can promise you, is never worth it. Your happiness is never, ever, ever, ever worth it. So I was doing everything, and we teach this actually now, but in terms of manifesting a new relationship, first of all, letting go of all the crap I didn't want and getting really clear what my non-negotiables are. Like, non-negotiables. If that happens, it's a no. It doesn't matter how gorgeous, muscly, handsome, sexy, whatever they are. If this is going on, it's a big fat no. And literally, and I'm speaking to you, Zara, with the situationship, because you're not the first, you're not the last, and you definitely won't be the only. Sometimes what happens on your, not sometimes, always on your journey to manifesting anything, you might have stepped out of an old relationship. You've done some intention setting, like you know what you want, and the universe has delivered, literally delivered what you've asked for, but you haven't been clear enough on what the next, literally the detail of what you're asking for. So I was very blessed. The universe gave me a situationship that was almost everything I'd asked for, but what it actually allowed me to have was clarity on what I really wanted. So I would really invite you to take a look, and you can definitely EAM your way through all of this, seeing what's in that relationship, what are the things that you love about it, and what are the things that you don't love about it that are not making it available to you. Because that's the next thing that you need to ask the universe for. Someone who's completely available for me, who sees me beautifully as I am, who loves me in exactly the way that I am and wants to grow with me. Like, whatever those things are, you need to get clear. So it's not that the universe doesn't bring you what you ask for. The universe brings you exactly what you ask for. And sometimes the people that get introduced into our life are clarifying experiences that allow you to call in the next step. 7 days after I left my little boy's dad, well, I split up with him about 2 months before, but 7 days after I moved out and moved into my own new flat, just me, 7 days, the universe delivered everything I've been asking for. 7 days. And it scared the crap out of me, because I was so not ready. I was so not ready. But here we are 2 years later, and I've still got everything that was on my list. Don't get me wrong, he isn't an angel. He annoys the hell out of me sometimes. But 2 years later, and it was literally 7 days, everything that I'd been asking for arrived when I had taken the aligned action to let go of all of the stuff that was standing in my way. So I don't know who needed to hear that, but it's there when you get clear. It's there when you get clear. Okay, challenged by love in my relationship. My relationship is full of regular drama. I don't understand how to change my reactions. My children have blocked me out of their life because my ex-husband and I speak a different language. Gaslighting and narcissism is huge. So lots of you are like, yeah, I needed to hear that. we can have this conversation. We can definitely have these conversations. And I see so many people going through and staying in relationships where you're just not a fit. You're just not a fit. You're not a fit. You're not meant to be together. The person that you met some 10, 15, 20 years ago is who you were then. And you have grown and you have changed. And your happiness, your alignment, you living your truth, when you look back on your life in another 50, 60, 70 odd years, when you're choosing to depart this planet, I want you to be going, do you know what? I went through 6 months of shit, but actually it was the best thing for me because I found me. I found me. And that's the only thing you ever need to be true to. So all of this said, with relationships, we're 45 minutes in. Let's get started on doing the work. Like I said, I can talk about this for hours. And there is so much that we can do for this too. So the last 2 nights, we were taking a look at some of the aspects of your soul. So we were looking at energy connection was the work that we did on Monday, making sure that our system is working. Yesterday, we took a tiny little sneaky peek at the mental health and some of the things that we can do there, working on our beliefs, self-sabotage patterns, as we were working on last night. There is so much more to working on this, changing your mindset, working on your traits, letting go of memories from your past, shifting all of the negative self-talk, the self-limitations, not just the sabotage patterns, but the beliefs that we have that we've been holding on to. And we had a little conversation about our emotional health and learning how to use EAM to shift yourself out of feeling angry and fearful and depressed and overwhelmed into a place of joy and love and happiness. And like I said, one of our programs, Fear to Love, is specifically designed around working on that journey. And that's what we did all of our research studies on. And our physical health piece. All of those aspects are the things that make you you. And before you even think about jumping into relationships, which is what we're talking about tonight, these elements absolutely need to be in alignment, because this is what you bring to the rest of your life. This is what you bring to your relationships. So if you haven't sorted out your internal mental chatter, if you haven't got your energy in flow, if your emotions are all over the place and you're constantly depressed and angry and frustrated and you're sick, what do you have to bring to a relationship? Because your energy is going to be stuck dealing with those things. So all of these are a process. And we do work through them in a systematic way so that you've got something to bring to a relationship and you're not using that relationship or relationships as the reason for your unhappiness. You've dealt with your stuff. You know that you're in a good space. You're not projecting any of your crap onto the relationship anymore because you've dealt with it all. Now you're ready to start looking at your relationships with other people. So your life consists of these 3 things: the physical space, which is all about your feng shui, or working on the space that you're in, how to manifest more money, how to clear your environment, how to declutter, how to shift energy vortexes that are in the room and in your home, how to get rid of stuff in your house that's connected energetically to things from your past. It's a huge amount of stuff that we do around this. But the relationships piece is the bit that excites me, because all of it excites me. But relationships is massive when it comes to the world of energy. There are invisible energy cords between you and other people. There are these, the reason that people are able to kind of get into our energy so quickly and so easily is because there is literally an invisible umbilical cord. If you could see it, you would completely see, know, and understand why someone can say one word to you and it's like, it ties you up in knots. Or you cannot even, you're thinking about that person and all of a sudden it's just like someone has smashed you in the heart or in the solar plexus. There are these invisible communication channels going on. And even if someone hasn't said something to you, you pick up on how they feel. And likewise, they're picking up on how you're feeling too. So when it comes to working with our energy, this isn't just letting go of our pain and our anger and our emotions and our frustration. All of that is part of the big picture. But we see others. Remember, and I'll show you this with the visual in a minute, but we see other people through our own experiences. If you remember what we were talking about with our aura being a recording device, everything that's ever happened to you is held in your energy field. And so what that means is you see everybody and everything else in your life through the lenses of what you have already experienced. So if you've been in a crappy relationship where you've been hurt, if you've been in situations where you've been gaslit by people, where you've been living in narcissistic, mentally, emotionally abusive relationships, that stuff is still held in your energy. And so it's like wearing 7 different pairs of glasses. Everything you look at in a relationship will be viewed through those eyes. Even if it's somebody completely different, you will see what's present in your energy field already. And likewise, because it's in your energy, you are also a vibrational match to attracting more of that. How many times have either you or perhaps you've seen your friends do this? They split up with somebody and they create a new relationship, and it is almost exactly the same. It's like the same person, they've just got a different face. They've attracted the same situation, they've attracted the same scenario, they've attracted the same kind of story, the same kind of traits. And it's like they've literally swapped the body of the person that was in there, and they've ended up back in the same scenario. And it's because that's what's active in your energy. So when it comes to manifesting a new relationship or changing any relationships, even if it's a relationship you want to stay in, we have to let go of the stuff that's in our energy field around that relationship or past relationships. Because whilst we're carrying that stuff, you know, if you've been with someone 10, 15 years, it's not all going to have been plain sailing. They're going to have pissed you off at some point. You have probably pissed them off at some point. There will be hurt. There will be anger. There will be resentment. There will be frustration. And whilst we're holding it all, we will continue to project it into the relationship. If we want to change relationships, that means that we have to change us first. And it's not always an easy thing to hear. It's not always an easy thing to hear that. But if we want to see a change in our relationship, even if we're not sure that we want to stay with that person or be with that person or have a friendship, I'm not just talking about partnerships, to first change the relationship, we first have to change us. We have to change how we think about that person. We have to change how we feel about that person. We have to let go of our anger, our resentment, all of those things that we've been holding on to about that relationship, because we're contributing that energy into the space. Yes, we can tell some beautiful, elaborate stories about what they've done and what they said and what they did do and what they didn't do, and all the finger pointing, blame, shame stuff, which we know is old paradigm. But new paradigm relationships are about being 100% responsible, 100% responsible for what's going on in that relationship, because you're contributing to it too. And I know that's a difficult thing to hear sometimes, but actually it's also completely empowering, because what that means is you have the choice, you have the power, you have the tool using the 5 steps of EAM to be able to shift all that crap and get yourself in a much better place. Once you've shifted it from your energy, then you do start to see changes in the relationship, because you're no longer contributing all of that resistance and all of those reversals and all of that negativity to it. And I know nobody ever wants to hear this, but it is true. Whatever is coming up in a relationship is always a mirror of what we've got going on. So when you see someone that's winding you up, when you see what someone's doing, when you see someone who's peeing you off, whatever it is, my invitation to you is to ask your sway where you are doing this, where you are holding this. Why is what they're doing pushing your button so much? What values is it affecting? What beliefs of yours is it influencing? because whatever it is that's going on, it's about something that's in you. Doesn't mean that you're wrong, but it's something that's in you, because two other people could be in exactly the same place and in that conversation, and it wouldn't bug them in the same way. But because of your experience, because of the journey you've been on, it is influencing you. So everything is active in your energy field. And when it comes to relationships, when it comes to everything, we've got this old paradigm, new paradigm perspective. A real old paradigm way of knowing that you're stuck in that space is where you feel like you don't like your partner. Your family aren't listening to you. You're arguing. You're feeling unsupported. You're sacrificing yourself and your happiness, feeling let down, having to spend your time taking care of others. Oh my God, if I could write a list of the number of people who are, and I understand completely, but their whole life is taken up with taking care of everybody else and not putting themselves first. They end up feeling unloved, hating their work, hating the people around them. New paradigm way of living in your relationships is knowing how to control your emotions. And I mean not in controlling kind of way, but how to just let your emotions be, recognize when it's your stuff, to know who you are and what you want, making decisions for yourself, putting yourself first. And this is one of the big things to undo, because many of us have been conditioned to believe that putting ourselves first is selfish. Putting ourselves first is the most loving thing we can do for anybody. Because unless we're in alignment, unless we are happy, we have absolutely nothing to bring to a relationship, and we certainly have nothing to give. And whatever we're giving from a place of misalignment just ends up in resentment and disempowerment in the long run. So it's about knowing what's right for you and never feeling like you are waiting for anyone or anything else. Learning to communicate from a place of love is one of the biggest gifts that you can give yourself and everyone else. And that means doing the work on all of those things that are peeing you off before you communicate to somebody. Am I an angel and do that all the time? No, not at all. Sometimes people just get the raw end of the deal because I just have to say it. But most of the time, I will go and do the work on what's coming up before I communicate. So at least the vibration of what I'm communicating is coming from a place of love, even if they don't like what it is I've got to say. It's not going with that spit and venom and anger and frustration. And this is one of the many, many, many wonderful things that EAM can help you do. Now, some of you might have seen this or be familiar with this before, but again, this is one of the big concepts that we work with within EAM. There was something in transactional analysis known as the Karpman drama triangle, and they talk about the victim or the child and the adult. We talk about this, this is the energy drama triangle, and all of you have been in this situation. We talk about this from the energy perspective. There are 3 disempowering energy positions in all relationships. Every single film script, every single news article, every single every single news article, particularly that you see at the moment, every movie, every soap, every story has these 3 characters in them. The first one is the pusher energy. So the pusher energy is that person who is projecting all of their anger and frustration. They're the finger pointers. They're the ones who are like, it's not me, it's all you, you're to blame. Anger, frustration, pushing their energy and their expectations on other people. Anyone recognize this pattern? Just in the chat. The pusher energy. We've all been it. Then, in order for there to be a pusher, someone who's projecting, there needs to be someone on the receiving end of that. Now, the receiving end of that is this puller energy. They aren't only on the receiving end of the pusher, But the puller energy is that person, and you will know when you are in this space, and we've all been it. This is the poor me person. This is the, I can't make these changes in my life because ... This has happened to me in the past, and therefore I'm stuck where I am because ... The puller energy is that victim mentality. Now, I know that that can be a difficult thing to say. I'm not saying that everyone that's in that space is a victim, but energetically, you're in this kind of sucking, pulling downward energy. We've all been around, and perhaps some of us have got a friend or family member that it's like, you have to kind of take a deep breath before you go around there, because all they're going to tell you is how crap their life is, how bad their life is, why everything's going wrong, how awful the world is. It's like a big black vortex of negativity. And the sound that I always put with this one is they literally suck the light out of the space. We've all been the puller. There is absolutely no judgment, but energetically, again, a massively disempowering place for us to be. And we all slip into it. Anytime you hear yourself saying, I can't do this because blah, 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 you're in that puller energy space because you're coming from a place of disempowerment. There's some level of finger pointing or placing the blame somewhere else, or giving your power to someone or something else as to why you can't resolve this. Make sense? So the puller energy is the energy. Then we have the protector. Now, the protector energy is the person who's like there to rescue. The protector is the one that always steps in to rescue the puller from whatever situation they're in. They're the ones who are like, don't worry, I'll save the day. I always do the like, they're riding in on their horse, like, don't worry, I'll do it. I'll sort it all out. And they spend all their time and energy in life sorting out everybody else's problems, sorting out this person, sorting out that, running around here, there, and everywhere, sorting out everybody else's stuff. And then at the end of the day, they're exhausted and tired and pissed off. So unbelievably pissed off, because nobody has given them their time, energy, and attention. They look at their life and their life isn't getting sorted out. And what they then end up saying, be careful with the protector, they'll be so nice to the puller's face, but then they'll go and sit and talk to somebody else and they'll be like, I did this and this and this for this person. I did this and I did this and I did this and I did this. And you know how ungrateful they are? I always, those of you who live in Britain, there's a thing, Catherine Tate sketch, this old granny, where she talks about, and she goes, what a swear word liberty. Do you know the lady? She's like, what a liberty. That granny. That's what the protector energy is like. If any of you know the character, I'll have to post it in the Facebook group. But it's like they'll do what they're doing because they do genuinely want to help. But then they'll be really peed off and angry when they've done all of these things for somebody and haven't been thanked, or that person doesn't appreciate it. And usually the puller doesn't appreciate it because they are so in this place of just pure selfishness. They're so centered on what they've got going on. These are obviously the extremes. But usually they're trying to protect the puller from the pusher. They'll be the person that's intervening. They'll be the person who's trying to protect somebody from something else. Now, all three of these positions are disempowering. Always have been, always will be. All three of them are old paradigm, because all of them are giving our power away in some way, shape, or form to somebody else. I want you, or I want that situation to change or be different in order for me to be happy. That's the underlying theme that sits behind this whole drama triangle that allows it to continue perpetuating. I know for some, this is a bit like, oh my God, just completely hitting the nail on the head. This is what's going on in my life, and we don't want to hear it. But I want you to hear it, because the solution is you living in alignment. Now you know, even just this, if this is completely new to you, even just knowing this and recognizing, okay, I'm in puller energy right now. I'm completely being a victim about this because I heard myself say, I can't do this because, okay, this isn't me in my power, that I can't do this because is just a belief. So if I let go of that fear, if I let go of that belief, if I let go of that story and it's no longer part of my energy, and I align to what it is I actually want to have, step 4, let it go. Step 5, step into your power. Now I have the power to change it. And all of a sudden you step out of any of those 3 disempowering spaces into the power position in the middle. Being in your power is not about taking from anybody else. Being in your power is about standing fully in your truth. You have done the work on yourself. You have let go of your fears. You have let go of your blame. You have let go of your shame and your guilt and your finger pointing. And you are not expecting anyone or anything else to change or be different in order for you to be happy. And when you do this, I absolutely love seeing this happen. Like when people do go through the journey and they start changing themselves in their life, friends and family members go, what's happened to you? You've changed. And it's like, yes, I've changed. I'm not playing your stupid dramas anymore. I'm not allowing my time and energy to be getting sucked up with your chaos. That's why you think I've changed. I'm just not there. I'm just not playing the game anymore because my happiness and my alignment is so important to me that I'm not going to let you take that. I'm not going to let you take that from me. And the only way you can take it from me is if I give it to you. So finding your happiness, then what that truly does, it allows people in your life who might be in the puller energy to actually start taking responsibility for themselves. If you've been that protector who's been riding in to save the day all day, every day for them, you're actually disempowering people. You actually disempower people from being able to make the changes for themselves and standing on their own 2 feet. So the most loving thing we can all do is step into our power in relationships and to recognize when we're in any one of those 3, because they're not helping you or anybody else. All with me? Over nurturing. Amen. Yes, please, says Wisteria. I've been, and we've all been all 3 of them. We all do all 3 of them. If you met me in my teenage years, oh my God, I was the puller. Literally, it'd be like, hi, nice to meet you. And I'd be like, this happened to me, this happened to me, this happened to me. My dad's this, my mum's this, blah, 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 blah. Literally for about 6 years, it would be the first thing I would tell you. Like I would barely even introduce myself. And it wasn't until I started understanding energy work, I was like, okay, that you really don't need to be in that energy. And I let go of my story. The reason I was in that space is because I was still energetically holding on to my story of the past. But we have to let that go because it isn't serving me right now and it doesn't make me who I am today. It's a beautiful gift. It is absolutely a beautiful gift for you and everyone else. And so much time and energy will come back into your life when you step into your power around this. So this is just to give you a visual concept. We're going to do some work on this in a minute because I want you to change some of the energy dynamics in a particular relationship, which is what we're going to do with the 5 steps tonight. But this is just to give you the visual picture. Think of all of those things that have happened to you in your past. That's what these little balls are. These are all the thoughts, all the beliefs, all of the emotions, all of the memories. This is all the resistances and reversals that we've been talking about that are held in your energy. And when you are looking out to the wider world, you're looking through this. It's like flies on a windscreen. I'm sure that's probably a better picture, but it is like flies on a windscreen. You're looking at the world with all of these splattered moths and flies and caterpillars and all that kind of crap. I don't know why caterpillars would be on your car windscreen. I don't know what they're doing out there, but you know what I mean. This is what you're looking at everything in life through. And so when you see that other person, you are projecting your energy into that situation through the lenses of everything that's happened to you. And they have got the other thing, they've got that thing going on as well. So when you communicate, when you communicate, when you say something to that person, it's getting transmitted through your energy, through all of those resistances, angers, those thoughts, that belief, that blah, 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 and it's received their end through their filter of everything that's then happened to them, all their balls, all their things that have happened to them in the past, all their thoughts, all their beliefs, all their memories. And this is very often where the miscommunication and misalignment comes from in relationships. It's very rarely about the situation that's in front of you. It's very rarely about what that person said or done. It is almost always about something that it has pushed your button because of something that you've been through in the past. And likewise, the same for them. So by doing this work on yourself, by understanding yourself in such a profound way energetically, you take full responsibility for clearing that crap up in your energy. So you're not bringing that to any relationship, which means your communication comes from a place of love because you're not placing blame. You've done all of the work on shifting your stories and your hurt from the past, that it isn't influencing you. And it creates huge, massive shifts in relationships. I really can't wait to share the stories with you of some of the people that have been through the bigger journeys with us in putting this into practice. It's mind-blowing and beautiful, really beautiful. Now think about this, for those of you that are already doing this work with people, think about this for your clients. How much of this is coming up for them? How are you judging your clients? And I know that we're not supposed to judge clients. Of course, we're supposed to be impartial. But whilst you've got this stuff going on in your energy from your past experiences, of course, you're going to view what your client's got going on through what's happened to you. Where are you bringing your relationship dramas into your client sessions? How many times, and this is one of the beautiful things I do like about doing one-on-ones with clients, how many times do clients show up in a session sharing the very thing that you've got going on right now? It's almost frustrating sometimes. And you're like, okay, universe, thanks very much. I know I've got to do some work on this. But very often your clients will still be that mirror for you. They will bring up the stuff that you've still got to work on. And where are we teaching our clients this? Where are we teaching our clients about standing in their power and speaking their truth? I saw this in a Facebook group earlier. Someone, it's a different Facebook group, not ours, obviously, but in a different Facebook group I was in, and someone was like, I really need a life coach because I need someone to help me make decisions. And I was like, no, you don't. You need to learn to trust yourself and understand yourself and listen to your heart and listen to your intuition. You don't need someone else to make decisions for you. You need to learn to take full responsibility for yourself. But there are so many people that come to you, if that's the work that you do, there are so many people who come to you because they want you to fix them. They don't understand the power that they have and the responsibility that they have to change their lives for themselves, because it isn't yet something that we are taught. I truly believe as change makers, that is our work, is to empower people to stand on their own 2 feet and create that change and transformation without us. Does this make sense? Like, so many times I see coaches and therapists, amazing people who are highly skilled at what they do, yet what they've done is almost created a dependency on them with their clients, or their clients have created a dependency on them because they think or feel the transformation comes from that person. Like, that person's going to wave a magic wand over me, let go of all of my crap, and then I am fixed, and they healed me. Not I healed me. And I believe that is such a disempowering thing. Being with a coach, being with a mentor, being with a healer is amazing. And what they do is create the space for that person to create the transformation. It's not about them. And it is such an important step. It's such an important twist, but it's not even a twist. I truly believe that we need to educate more people that it's down to them. The change is down to them. We are a guide. We are a mentor. We are there to support. And yes, we can fast track a lot of that journey, but it is not me that creates the change in you. And that's been one of my biggest things with EAM, that it is a self-help tool. Because when you're not there, what do people do on the day when they're pissed off? What do they do when they're feeling angry? What do they do when they're in pain? I don't want someone to have to wait 10 days to see me, to let go of what's going on, when they can do it for themselves. Imagine a world where everybody knows how to put this into practice. That, for me, that's the mission I'm on, because we all have the power to change our lives, and it can be that quick. We can let go of the pain. We can let go of the fear. We can let go of the frustration. And oh my God, what an impact it makes in your day to day. Anyway, shall we do some work on this? Let's create some shifts for you. So what I would like you to do tonight, I want you to think about someone in your life where it feels icky between you and them. Like there is some kind of intensity, you know, when you think about them, you know that there's discord in your relationship. And I want you to just close your eyes. I'll guide you through this in a minute. But I want you to imagine or see or perhaps sense what's going on in the energy field between you and them. So I was talking about these chords and connections. If you just close your eyes for a moment and pay attention, think about that person. And I want you to notice where in your energy you feel that discord. Does it make you feel tight around your throat? Does it make you feel sick in your stomach? Perhaps some of you might be quite visual and you might actually see this big black ball in between the two of you, or perhaps a crack in the communication. What do you notice? Imagine you're describing it as an inanimate, let's get my words out, inanimate object. What size is it? What color is it? What shape is it? Is it inside you? Is it outside you? If you don't feel anything, perhaps you might notice how the emotion feels when you think about them. Excuse me. Where are you noticing the impact on your energy field of this relationship? So feel free to post it in the chat. Okay, so just post in the chat what that feels like for you. Tummy, solar plexus. Sorry, I was just feeling into one of mine. Chest, I feel like crying and weepy. Draining, feeling powerless, draining. Tube in my solar plexus, and there probably is one. When I think about authority figures, heaviness and pressure in my heart, yawning. Feeling worried and desperate. Spear to my heart, lonely and misunderstood. So when you're describing, those of you that are like, it feels like a spear in my heart, there probably is. There probably is a spear in your heart. So there probably is, like I said, there's these, and again, this is such a big conversation. Think about it. When somebody says something to you and our heart in Chinese medicine, our heart is the emperor. It is the ruler of the entire system. So our voice is our heart's energy manifested. So when you're talking about somebody, or when someone's talking about you, when you say, oh my God, I just wish you would go away and do one. When anyone says something to that, like that to you, or someone wishes ill on you, they are literally using the power of their heart to command those words into being. So when you're talking about someone, when you're bitching about somebody, or when they're talking about you, there are literally these energy balls created that go into the space. So if you feel like a spear in your heart, it could be something they've said. It could literally be the action of what they did that caused you to be hurt. So where there's a spear in your heart, I want you to work on, I'm ready to release this spear in my heart created between me and this person. Okay. Okay, we've all, I think, got something. Has anybody not got something to work on? Emptiness. Okay. So we're going to work through the 5 steps together. Step 1, we've kind of skipped step 1 and 2 a little bit, but we'll do step 1. So step 1, I invite you all to stand up for me. And step 1, we're just going to check, is this resistance I am feeling in my energy when I think of whoever that person? So is there resistance in my energy between me and whoever? So just ask your sway that question quickly. And yes, it can be about someone you don't know personally, yeah. Because whatever it is, it's impacting you. And that's what we want to change. We want to shift this dynamic of what's going on. So step 1, I want you to ask, is there resistant energy between me and whoever this person is? Step 2, your body's going to respond with a yes or a no. And then we've already kind of done this work on the size, the shape, the color, what it feels like in your energy. So I really want you to pay attention to that. We're going to do step 4 together twice. We're going to work through. Okay. So simply repeat these words out loud after me as I guide you through. I am ready to release this. And then if you've got an emotion, hurt, anger, pain, frustration, whatever it might be, that feels like, and then describe what this thing is, this spear in my heart, this sickiness in my stomach, this feeling like it's attached to my throat, this emptiness, this drain in my solar plexus. When I think about, and then say that person's name, I release this fully from my energy in all forms, on all levels, and at all points in time. I am ready to release this, and then name whatever emotion, if there is one, fear, anger, frustration, pain, heartache, disempowerment, powerlessness, that feels like, and then describe what it feels like, this spear in my heart, this drain in my solar plexus. I release this fully from my energy in all forms, on all levels, and at all points in time. I am ready to release this feeling of fear, anger, frustration, whatever emotion you might be feeling. that feels like this spear in my heart, this pain in my back, this drain in my energy. When I think about and then say this person's name, I release this fully from my energy in all forms, on all levels, and at all points in time. Okay, so we're going to do step 4 again, which is often what we need to do. I just want you to check in with how it feels now. Has it reduced in size? Has it shifted at all? Does it feel lighter? Does it feel heavier? Has it not changed? Okay, so what does that feel like for you now? Okay, so we're going to do step 4 again together now. I am ready to release this pain or frustration or heartache, whatever it is, that feels like when I think about, I release everything that is affecting our relationship. I release this fully from my energy in all forms, on all levels, and at all points in time. I am ready to release the energetic impacts between me and whoever that feels like this. Describe what it feels like. Pain in your heart, or this vortex in your heart, whatever it might be. I release this fully from my energy in all forms, on all levels, and at all points in time. One more time. I am ready to release this unhappiness or fear, whatever it might be in my heart or my wherever you are, or when I think about, I release all the energetic impacts between me and whoever. I release this fully from my energy in all forms, on all levels, and at all points in time. Okay, nice deep breath in and out. Okay, so step 5 now. We get to create some magic. So I know that for some of you, there might still be some other things there, and relationships is a massive thing for us to explore in terms of how we actually go through transforming it. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. But for step 5, let's create something new around this. So remember, with our step 5s, we want to stand with our feet hips width apart, arms in the upward, palms facing up, ready to receive position. This opens the whole of our energy field on our funnel. And repeat after me. I am ready to allow myself to put me first, to stand fully in my power, and to communicate with love. I allow all of this into my energy in all forms, on all levels, and at all points in time. I am ready to allow myself to step fully into my power, to put myself first, knowing my alignment and well-being is the most important piece in all my relationships. I allow myself to stand strong, to speak my truth from a place of love, knowing it is the best gift for me and everyone around me. I allow all of this into my energy in all forms, on all levels, and at all points in time. I am ready to allow myself to stand fully in my power, to communicate from a place of love, and to speak my truth. I allow myself to connect with like vibrational people who know me, see me, and understand the true me as I open up and share who I really am. I allow all of this into my energy in all forms, on all levels, and at all points in time. Nice deep breath in. Gorgeous. Oh, I do love a good step 5. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So my wish and intention for all of you is to take this from tonight, that your alignment and happiness is absolutely the best gift for everybody. You first and foremost, your friends, your family, your loved ones, your partner, the new partners that you want to manifest. It always comes down to us first, finding more clients, being there and being of service in the work that we're here to do in the world. And knowing what we know from the conversation we had on Monday, recognizing that our flow state, your flow state, my flow state, will do so much more to create change on this planet than any amount of fear and any amount of finger pointing and any amount of blame and any amount of frustration. Even though so many of us are seeing very clearly what's happening, and it's so easy for us to get derailed and get sucked into the fear and the blame chain culture. I've been sucked in so many times. But I know that me being in flow, whilst it might feel like I'm not directly doing anything, although I am, I know that me being in my flow state is uplifting 1,000 people who have no idea about any of this. I don't have to explain it. I just have to be it. I just have to be it. And if all I can do in a day is get myself in flow and then send love out onto the planet, I know I have helped so many people just from being in alignment. I know that my fear and my frustration and my anger isn't serving me, and it definitely isn't serving mass consciousness either. So on those days when you feel pissed off, we all have them. Do the work to get yourself back in flow. For you, first and foremost, but know when you do, you are creating change on the planet. And this is absolutely how we birth a new earth. The more people that stay in a place of alignment, who stop adding energy to what's going on, who stop perpetuating it by focusing on what's there, and instead choose to use our powerful, powerful energy state to be in alignment, to focus on where we're going, to focus on what we want, to create the new world, which is what we're all here for. That's the best gift we can give to everybody. And it's easier said than done. There are days, I know, when you want to give up because the chaos and drama that we're in right now feels too much. And this is where the magic of EAM really comes in. Putting it into practice in the moment. Putting it into practice and recognizing when you feel like crap, okay, there's some work for me to do. It will let you have a day. It will let you have a day of laying on the sofa sulking. But other than that, you've got no excuse because now you know. You know how to let this stuff go. And then your life will change. That's when your life will change. That's when you're in your power. That's when you can start moving forward. And it is the best gift you can give to your entire family. I absolutely promise. So with all of that said, thank you for tonight's session. I hope you've enjoyed having a conversation around relationships. Again, a massive subject, and we have barely scratched the surface of what's possible with this. Saturday night is not going to be a 90-minute session. I know that already, because it's going to be a Q&A. So Saturday night, all the big questions you've got, it'll be you, me, a flip chart, and we'll be doing some coaching as well specifically. So if you've got challenges that we haven't addressed somewhere in the conversation throughout the week, that will be your opportunity. And we'll be doing EAM live. So I'll be giving you questions for you to write down that you can go in and do on how to explore some of these things. They're not all as straightforward as the group exercises that we're doing. Like relationships is massive. You know, how to particularly change one relationship. You have to work on what's going on with the energy. You have to work on your thoughts and beliefs. You have to work on your emotions. You have to work on the situations from the past. You have to let go of all the pain and the fear and the anger and the frustration. And then once you've let go of all of that, then get clear and bring clarity to what it is that you actually want, which you can't do whilst you're holding on to all the anger and frustration. Then you can go about manifesting the new relationship you want, either with that person or calling in somebody new, whatever it looks like. So there are so many things where there are bigger processes or more questions to ask or other avenues to explore or different ways to approach something. And, you know, all of that is way beyond anything that I can share with you this week, because each and every one of us is different and each and every one of us has been through a different journey. So there is so much more to this. There is so much more to this. I know some of you have already been posting in the Facebook group and already been sending emails about what the next steps beyond this look like. I will be talking to you all more about the next step, which is the energy expansion journey. But for those of you who are interested in becoming a mentor, because I've already seen some of you saying like, how do I train to do this? And how do I learn how to do this? How do I put this into practice? The energy expansion, which we'll talk about towards the end of the week, is the next step in the journey, which is your personal journey, because you have to do this work on yourself before becoming an EAM mentor. Your congruence in terms of having done this work to shift yourself, change your life, before we even train you on how to use EAM. This has always been one of our key foundations of going on the journey to become a mentor, because you have to live this, eat this, breathe this, sleep this, talk this. You can't be a hypocrite. Doesn't mean you have to get all your stuff sorted out. Doesn't mean everything has to be perfect, but you have to be doing this. This is not one of those things that you can just do a 5-day training and then all of a sudden you're qualified to go off and work with people. it really is about putting it into practice. And when you meet some of our EAM mentors, they are amazing. And it's truly because they've done so much work on themselves. So for those of you that want to find out a little bit more next steps, if you want to find out about the energy expansion, which is like the next step in terms of your own journey, I'll ask Claire very nicely to pop in the chat in a second, a link to just have a conversation with Claire. And if you want to find out about becoming a mentor, it is an application only at the moment. And it means that you can end up having a call with me if you want to. So if you want to find out more about becoming a mentor, I will talk about it more at the end of the week, but just some of you are asking already. So if you want to do that, you can get yourself booked in for a call with me to speak about becoming a mentor, because I want to know who you are and if we're a good fit for each other in terms of coming on to those next steps and really what it would look like. So yeah, I'll get Claire to pop it in the chat, and actually we'll probably update the post in the Facebook group as well with a link to both of those. So I will talk about it more in depth, but just those of you who are like chomping at the bit already, there is the next step, and there is so much more beyond what we're sharing. So tonight was relationships. Tomorrow, drum roll please, tomorrow we're talking about money. This is going to be a good conversation. I don't think there is a single person on here who would not appreciate opening up more flow of abundance to wealth. So tomorrow night, we're going to have a big conversation around manifesting money, creating wealth and abundance, what's standing in the way, because that's usually the biggie thing, why the £1 million you've been asking the universe for hasn't arrived in your bank account yet, and what we can do about it. And I will talk to you about energy or money from an energy perspective, and where the biggest challenges are that most people are holding on to and where they come from. Working on our money stuff from an energy perspective is huge. There's a lot of pieces to the puzzle, as well as the practical elements that come with it. So I'm really excited about tomorrow. I love the money conversation, mainly because we get to talk about sex as well. So if that doesn't excite you and entice you to join the call tomorrow, sex and money, that's what we're talking about tomorrow, sex and money in that order. So thank you all for the call tonight. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have, and it's either reminded you of some things that we've talked about before. Clara says, yes, money, please. Annette says, I've tried so many things to solve my money things. Yeah, thank you so much for tonight. What does it mean to become a mentor, Christina? To become a mentor, to train in using EAM so that you are qualified and licensed, accredited to be able to use it with other people. So we have 140 accredited mentors around the world. It's relatively small, I suppose, at the moment, but these guys are literally leading the way in terms of using EAM with the community of people that they're passionate about. So we've got mentors who specialize in parenting, physical health, sex and relationships. In fact, I might bring Kerry on Friday to talk to you. We've got people who are animal communicators, relationship mentors, like they've taken all of the rest of the things that we talk about in the further programs, and they're now creating their own programs using EAM and teaching up, running workshops, running live events that we teach you how to run, in actually being able to go out there and share EAM and talk to other people. So yeah, becoming an EAM mentor is becoming licensed and accredited to be able to use it, in answer to your question. So looking forward to seeing you. Oh my God, looking forward to tomorrow. I've done so much hypnosis around the money subject. There is a lot of stuff we'll talk about tomorrow. Donna wants to be a mentor. Join us, be part of the community. It's going to be amazing. A great experience again. See you all tomorrow. Looking forward to tomorrow. Follow the link if you want to become a mentor, book a call with me. I think my diary is open from Monday, just because we've got a lot on this week. And if you want to find out about the energy expansion, you can book a call, speak to Claire, but I definitely will be talking about both of those things a bit more towards the end of the week. But for now, this is all about you. This really is about putting this all into practice and changing your life. We're on day 3, Got another 3 sessions to go. So yeah, money tomorrow, purpose, life purpose on Friday, and then live Q&A Saturday. So expect Saturday night to be a little bit longer. Bring your popcorn, wear your gym jams, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be lots and lots of fun. I don't want to go. I just want to stay here and do questions and stuff now and just hang out for the rest of the night. But I know I've got to let you all leave. So I will see you tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, Money and Sex. If that doesn't entice you to be here, I don't know what else to do. Right. Love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, 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 bye.